Hello everybody, and thanks for joining in on this Lucky 7 final video. 7 states and 7 coins. Here's the route we took. In general, we tweaked it a little bit along the way. And every time we get to a place where we needed to take a picture, you'll see the Harley coin right here in the bottom right hand corner pop up. So we're all excited about this 7 state swing, and we got going, so here we go. We left town, it was cloudy skies, overcast the whole first day. It threatened rain, but it didn't rain, so that was fine. And we had a good ride up 270 to 68. Good thing about living in Maryland is you're not very far from Pennsylvania, so it's not long after we left, we were crossing the Pennsylvania state line, as you can just see. Now before long, we were on Route 40, so we got off 68 and got on historic Route 40, scenic Route 40. It's gorgeous if you've never taken it off 68. It winds through Pennsylvania countryside, and so if you ever find your way out in western Maryland and you're on 68 and you got time, jump up on 40. You will not be disappointed. We're headed up to Ohio State Park in Pennsylvania. These lovely left and right hand sweepers, I love them, especially when they're going through a forested area like we are. We're headed to our first coin location, which is Ohio State Park, where there's whitewater rafting and all kinds of outdoor activities. Back on the throttle on 40, going through some farmland. You see the cattle on the right hand side. And if you've ever been on the Pennsylvania Turnpike, which we had to jump on for a little while, you've been through this tunnel going through the Laurel Highlands of Pennsylvania. Not long after that, I had to stop the film to show you this gorgeous bike and trailer. That is absolutely magnificent. Okay, the day is winding down. Our first night of sleep was in a beautiful little town of Lock Haven, Pennsylvania. I had never heard of it before. And as you can see, it's a lovely little town. Riding into it, I got into the mind that it was Sunday, but it was actually Tuesday afternoon. It was just so nice and quaint and quiet. Okay, we ended up in Lock Haven because there were no rooms available in State College. We were supposed to stay in State College, but it's freshman move-in week and there were absolutely no rooms available. So we hunted around and we found the historic Fallon Hotel in Lock Haven, Pennsylvania. I gotta tell you about this hotel. The hotel was built in 1856 by the Queen of Spain. Yes, you heard me right. She had just sold Florida to the United States government, so she had a little extra money. And her advisors told her that she should invest in mining. So she bought these vast tracts of land up in the Pennsylvania mining country. And she built a mansion for herself somewhere down the Susquehanna Valley, which no longer stands. And she built the Fallon Hotel for her entourage that would be accompanying her from Spain whenever she came to visit her property and see her investments. Well, she never came, but that's where the Fallon Hotel comes from, and it has like 110 rooms. The owners are a young black couple. Got a chance to meet them, talk with them. They are grinding. They are doing what they can to restore it to its former beauty and prominence. They bought it. It was abandoned. It was derelict. And so they are slowly trying to restore it. But that's the Fallon Hotel. Back on the road, the beautiful Pennsylvania Highlands. You see the landscape is changing. You got some hills, mountains in the distance. And before long, We'll be pushing up against the New York state line. So we actually did get rain on day 2, and before long we're entering Tagahonic Falls State Park. This is part of the Finger Lakes in the upstate New York region. And it is the second Harley coin stop for us. So Tyrone took the lead. We've turned east now, headed towards Massachusetts. We're still in New York. And it was just a generally soggy day. It was raining on and off and on and off. That's okay. It wasn't absolutely horrible. And then we had everything that you have on the road. So we ran into some rain, as you can see, and a little construction, as you can see. And that's just part and parcel of being on the road. But as you can see, just like Pennsylvania, New York has some gorgeous roads. This is upstate New York, and I just like cruising through wooded areas. The road was great, very well maintained, and we had more sunshine than we had rain, although we did get a few really hard downpours during the day. And then here we are coming into Massachusetts. So we shut down day 2 in a little town called Pittsfield, Massachusetts. About 40,000 people is the population. And we saw on the way in is a wonderfully preserved 19th century Shaker village that you can visit if you're in this part of the country. Then I did a little research, and you know what I found out? Herman Melville lived in Pittsfield, and this is where he wrote Moby Dick. Wow. Okay, here we are climbing Mount Greylock, which is the highest point in Massachusetts. First thing in the morning, we've left Pittsfield, and you know, I'll learn because I can learn. Going to some high overlook first thing in the morning is probably not the best idea. As you can see, the more we ascend, the foggier it gets. So by the time we got to the summit, you couldn't really see very well. So I'll learn, live and learn. But we're on the way up to our third coin stop here.
You have reached the waypoint on the left. Turn back where possible.
As you can see in here, I wasn't really sure which way to go. Keep going up a little further, and there it is, the Veterans War Memorial Tower at the summit of Mount Greylock in Massachusetts, kind of like North Adams, Massachusetts. Tyrone's taking a selfie so he can get his Harley coin. I'm getting ready to do the same thing. Okay, headed back down the mountain. It's getting warmer because it was really cold at the summit. And I like a twisty mountain road for a little while anyway. Anyway, we stopped at Ronnie's Harley-Davidson dealership in Pittsfield, Massachusetts. It's the home of the Berkshire Hills chapter of Harley Owners Group. We stopped at a lot of dealerships along the way. We're headed towards Route 7 South, which is very picturesque. If you find yourself in this part of the country, you will not be sorry. Before we jumped on it, stopped in Great Barrington, Massachusetts. Great Barrington is the home of W.E.B. Du Bois, a man who I'll always look up to. He is the first black man to get a PhD from Harvard. So it's his birthplace, Great Barrington, Massachusetts. Now, every time we go to a little small town, I always joke, I want to move here, I want to live here, but I'm not sure about where we were here because if you can see, you got a house in two pieces, and we had to pull over on the shoulder so we could get down the road. Now, I don't know how many payments these people missed, but let me just tell you, Massachusetts don't play, so you better pay your mortgage. So I don't think I'm going to be moving here. Okay, and here we are, rolling into Connecticut, crossing the state line. I really didn't get any of the marvelous road on the way to our next coin stop, which is the Covered Bridge in West Cornwall, because I was too busy just enjoying myself. But let me tell you, the road was fantastic. It was absolutely spectacular. The conditions, which you can see is brand new, but the canopy of trees and just the way the sunlight played off of through the trees and around you, it was magnificent. So this is our fourth coin stop, the Covered Bridge, that is still in use. Cars coming through it while we were there, right here in West Cornwall, Connecticut. Wonderful. Onward we go, still headed east. Before long, we are crossing the state line to Rhode Island. Stopped in Mike's famous Harley-Davidson dealership, and as you can see, it's a really big dealership. That's in New London, Connecticut, before we actually got to our coin stop, which is coming up next. It's nice to stop into dealerships and just chat with the people. Everybody's so nice and friendly. Here we are, approaching the Atlantic Ocean. This is coin stop number 5, Point Judith in Rhode Island. You see the lighthouse right in front of us. It's kind of windy, but it was a little refreshing because it was getting a little bit hot that day. So Point Judith is also a Coast Guard station. And I got to tell you about this gentleman we met. Got a little bit of video of him right here. I think his name is Alan, if I remember correctly. He's 70 years old. He lives in Boston. He said he just felt like going for a ride and ends up in Rhode Island. So I hope to be that spry when I am his age. So we spent the night in Connecticut. I think it was Westover, Connecticut. Anyway, now we got to deal with New York traffic, and it's Friday morning. What was I thinking when I planned this route? So we went through all of that, New York, GW Bridge, yada, yada, yada. It was horrible, but we made it. And finally, now we are crossing over into New Jersey, headed to our 6th coin stop, which will be Cape May, New Jersey. And down the Garden State Parkway we go. Very nice drive. And we arrived at Cape May Lighthouse, our 6th coin stop. Headed towards Delaware now. We couldn't get on the Cape May ferry because we didn't make reservations. Again, what was I thinking? It was Friday. And the boat was full until like 5 p.m. Anyway, we didn't really need to because both Tyrone and I have the Delaware coin, but we would have made a special trip around the peninsula and back down if someone had been with us who needed to get it. So we did 7 states, but not necessarily 7 coins because one of the coins we already had. So we're headed to Delaware state border, and then we're gonna hit 295 and 95 and make our way home.